Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, David M. coming at you here with another video. This one a bit of a sad one for me. And I'm sure a lot of people out there that are baseball fans. A sad one for them. But this is just an honor, a little tribute to the legend, Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker. If you followed my channel from the beginning, you know that I've always said he's pretty much my favorite dude in baseball. I'm usually not bothered, obviously, by celebrity or athlete passing, anything like that, because I don't know him personally, right? And it's always sad to lose a legend of the game, right? But this one is a little bit more, well, all right, I'll paraphrase Bob Uecker's final call. This one has some sting on it. Because he was someone who I listened to some years back when I found out, hey, there's this app you can get and listen to every single radio broadcast. Great. I so loved hearing him call a game, and I am not a Brewers fan. I'm a Cubs fan, but I almost never missed him calling a game on the radio for the last, gosh, I don't know how many years, but it's funny. I would usually watch a Cubs game or any game, whatever game might be on TV, but listen to Uecker on the radio when he was calling a Brewers game. Now, the last few years, he only called the home games. He, as we now know, he kept everything very private. Only a few people knew he was battling cancer for the last couple of years. I knew something was up this year. You could tell if you listened to all the games, because he didn't call a whole lot this year. Even only calling all the home games, I bet he only did half of them, or maybe a little over half. And just his time in the games, right? They used to have the constant, rhythm of he'd call the first couple innings, then he'd call the fifth, then he'd call the eighth and ninth. That even sort of dwindled away. But I got to tell you, the top of the third inning in a Brewers game, when it was Uecker story time, that was so great. But, one of the things, so a lot of people are going to know him from, Major League, obviously. Mr. Belvedere, if you're a kid of the 80s. And before that, he had 100 and something appearances on Johnny Carson, all of which you can look up on YouTube, all of which are hilarious. Just such a naturally hilarious person, deadpan delivery. But that's not why I listened to him call games. In my mind, he was the best to ever do it. And I know that's going to sound blasphemous to many people. We're going to say it's Vince Scully, and I get that, but to me, Uecker was that perfect marriage of absolute hilarious deadpan comedy, but also very as professional as you can get calling a game. He would never disparage players, never disparage umpires, even if it was a horrible call. The rhythm and cadence with which he called a game, to me, was just perfect. And that's the thing. That's why this one hurts a little bit more, because it was, and I've seen other people say, but this is he was the soundtrack of the summer, right? Him and guys like Pat Hughes of the Cubs, right? Who actually, Pat Hughes used to be his partner there before he came to the Cubs. Just, I'm going to miss listening to him so much. It's gonna be weird, but the good thing about technology is I can probably go back and listen to reruns of games that were played years ago that don't matter anymore, but still, just to be able to hear it'll be cool. And do yourself a favor, if you've never really delved into the world of Bob Uecker, go check out his Hall of Fame speech. I've probably seen that thing 100 times. You can go to YouTube, watch any of his Saturday Night Live appearances. You can watch anything. Just, but also just listen to him call a game. That's so great. To me, it was as good as it got. But you kind of knew this was it, and now it's coming out that he knew it was it, and his closest family, the people that knew he was privately battling cancer, knew this was his last call. And just such a horrible way for him to go out, too. Man, it was painful to listen to. I even texted my buddies that night, and it's just man, I fear I might have just heard him call his last game, but, I hope not. And just because I'd never heard him sound so dejected. Usually when they lost their final game of the year, he would give the typical, well, that sucks, it's over, but, looking forward to seeing everybody in spring training and blah, blah, blah. There was none of that. It was definitely a lot sadder than I'd ever heard him before. And so you kind of had a hunch. I mean, and he lived to be 90 years old, so you kind of knew it's borrowed time anyway at that point, right? And, what a life he lived. We should all be so lucky to reach that age and do the things he did. But again, the stories you hear from people, just are fantastic. The master of the cough button, right? And the stuff he would say when he would hit that dump button, and just, I don't know, it's just, he was my favorite. And definitely gonna miss hearing him call games, that's for sure. But anyway, I will go back to the generosity of the card community in my next video. And again, I've got a ton of pickups to show. Just wanted to do this while I had a chance. But anyway, rest in peace, Mr. Baseball. And with that, everyone, take care. I'll catch you next time.